that much closer to top 8. So let's get down there.
So here we go. So if I try, I'm leading out for Yujiro Futamata on Marty Winota. And a somewhat slow draw for Hernandez, although Ether Gust is going to help against a Judith or Winota later in the game. And Flame Sweep is the kind of card which you really need to contain these fast draws with a lot of token makers. But it can also just be kind of embarrassing against the other half of the deck that Marty Winota can bring to bear sometimes.
Yeah, this is the spot where I would be surprised if Hernandez didn't prioritize using Flame Sweep on turn 3.
This is one of the good Flame Sweep games, I'm going to say. I'm going out on a limb there.
Oh, is that your hot take?
This is why they pay me the big bucks for the commentary. And this is Futamata does get to cash in all of these tokens to the Roast Rider, get to scry towards something else, but it's unclear exactly what he's looking for to get back into this game from a dominating position. Maybe a follow-up token maker into a Winota on the following turn, but Hernandez has that covered to some degree with that Ether Gust.
Yeah, this is a spot where, in Hernandez's spot, you've got to feel kind of okay about your position, because at the very least, you can Uro with Aether Gust backup.
And there's Battery Lieutenant. Not too imposing by itself. Hernandez is going to have time to build towards that copy of Genesis Ultimatum, which can come down next turn.
Right, and that's why we don't see Aether Gust being held up here, is there's not a non-human that can attack this turn. Who cares if Futamata just slams a Winota here? You get to cast your Genesis Ultimatum next turn, and honestly, Genesis Ultimatum is kind of like 5 Winota triggers.
Who would win? 5 Winota triggers or 1 puny Genesis Ultimatum?
The best card in the top 6 or all the top 5?
I am pleased that Magic nowadays seems to have devolved into 10 different varieties of Aetherworks Marvel. You know, it's it tickles the gown, but Futamata gets to follow up with Venerated Loxodon, convoking the Vigilance creature, so a nice little synergy there, but I fear that's about to be comprehensively overwhelmed by Genesis Ultimatum. Although Hernandez can play it safe instead, play the Cavalier of Thorns, hold up the Ether Gust.
And this is just playing it safe, right? So, in some respects, Futamata just doesn't even have anything that can be that punishing. If the best thing that they did that last turn was convoke out a Venerated Loxodon, and there is a chance that Ultimatum just completely bricks, and Hernandez doesn't have to open himself up to that type of turn.
And the 5/6 Cavalier here gets to just cleanly block the Battery Lieutenant. Embercleave threatening to bust that block, and maybe the game wide open, but Adam has the timely Ether Gust.
And this is exactly the kind of play that Hernandez was trying to play around here.
And now it's unclear how good that Embercleave can even really expect to be in this game. If Adam has nothing, that's exactly the card you want. But we know Adam has quite the something here to follow that up with. Here we go. Here's Genesis Ultimatum.
Oh.
And actually, that one was...
Oh, that was a good one. 2 Aether Gusts.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that even if you, quote-unquote, miss on the Genesis Ultimatum, you still get those cards in your hand. You still get to deploy those. And, you know, Adam now has full coverage against that Embercleave, against Winota, really against anything that could be intimidating from Futamata.
And now this is the horrifying spot in Futamata's seat where you go, what 2 cards did Hernandez put in hand there? Are they more Ultimatums? Are they more Aether Gusts? What other cards don't just get slammed onto the battlefield?
It's almost sad for Futamata that he doesn't know, right? If you could see those 2 Ether Gusts face up, you would know that your goose is cooked in this game. But as it is, you have to play on and make a valiant effort out of it. And Adam could not play that Ether Gust any faster. And for Futamata, yeah, we see that Embercleave go to the bottom.
Oh, and that means the Loxodon is just dead.
Now here's Omnath, Locust of the Royal. Going upstairs, we get to escape Uro. This is why people are drawn to this Team Elementals deck. You know, that was a medium-ish Genesis Ultimatum, and it was still absolutely backbreaking.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at everything that's been going on this game. It just feels like Hernandez is actually doing something that is big enough to go toe-to-toe with these Sultai decks without playing Nissa.
Well, here's Raise the Alarm, and this is where Winota could maybe, with the perfect sequence of hits, but we know there is a third Ether Gust waiting in the wings for Adam Hernandez.
Woe Strider, that ain't it.
And this Flame Sweep can also clean up a lot of the board on Futamata's side.
Oh, and it doesn't even kill the Gilded Goose.
that is delightful.
Love writer text.
I love finding creative uses for Gilded Goose. Like, it's a good way of activating ninjutsu in Modern, I found. You know, there's a lot of corner case stuff you can do with it. A perfect mutate target in Standard, which I'm sad we haven't seen more of that, but we've got a few weeks left of this series. We'll give it time.
Ooh, and it's time for Hernandez to turn the corner.
Send with all. And we are at the phase of the game where any spell is a spell, and any land is an Omnath trigger, which is either another land, which is a spell, or it's a spell. So Adam really how's it all going on here?
Love spells.
You ever just cast a spell? It's a great feeling.
Never cast a spell a day in my life.
I say that as a fan of making land drops, but, you know, I can't turn down a nice spell.
Ooh.
As if we needed to sack the deck for our Genesis Ultimatum. We get to put that, and Cavalier of Thorns, and...
Oh, is that the very slightly backwards sequencing for that?
Possibly. An unfortunate misclick for Adam Hernandez, who I'm sure will not be kicking himself too much over that turn of events.
I'm sure he'll find a way to power through this incredibly trying time.
There's the desperation Winota. You gotta go for it. You're not optimistic it's gonna resolve, and sure enough, Adam Hernandez wins against